Today we'll be seeing on histology topic connective tissue. So already I was talking about connective tissue while we were discussing about some other areas. So let's see connective tissue in detail today. Connective tissue has got two components. It has got cells. Those cells can be of different types, as you can see this diagram. And the second component is extracellular matrix. Extracellular matrix is produced by these cells. These cells are called as resident cells. It can be of different types, as I said before. So these are the basic things regarding connective tissue. Two components, cells and extracellular matrix. Now, in the extracellular matrix, there are two things: ground substance, and the next one is fiber. Fibers of different types: elastic fiber, collagen fiber, reticular fiber. There are different fibers. So connective tissue broadly can be having these two things: cells and matrix. Cells like mesenchymal cells, macrophage cells, adipose cells, fibroblast cells. Extracellular matrix consists of two parts: ground substance and the fibers. Now, all of this extracellular matrix is produced by the cells. So there are different types of connective tissue in body. So the cells and the matrix varies accordingly. Now, the most common cells that you can see in connective tissue is fibroblast. So it is the most commonly seen cell, and these cells will produce extracellular matrix. But in some cases, like cartilage and bone, so these are specialized connective tissue. Here, the cells are called as chondrocytes in cartilage and osteocytes in bone. So generally, we can see the cells in a connective tissue, that is fibroblast. Yes. Now coming to the different types of cells in connective tissue, I said that according to the connective tissue, we can have different types of cells, and most commonly seen cells are fibroblast. Now these cells are derived from, all the cells whichever we are going to see are derived from undifferentiated mesenchymal cells. So these are the mother cells or stem cells. From this, a lot of cells are going to get derived. Chondroblast, this is seen in cartilage. Adipocytes, it's a fat cell. Fibroblast, it is most commonly seen cell. Mesothelial cells, endothelial cells, osteoblast. Osteoblast is seen in bone. Now, osteoblast can give rise to osteocyte. This is also seen in bone. Similarly, chondroblast can also give rise to chondrocytes. This is also seen in cartilage. So we have seen the stem cells from where all the cells are derived. Coming to the mother cell or the stem cell, mesenchymal cells or mesenchyme cells, they are undifferentiated cells derived from mesoderm. So in the embryonic life, we have got three germ layers: endoderm, mesoderm, and ectoderm. Now, mesenchymal cells are derived from mesoderm. They are also called as MSCs. They are multipotent stromal cells. So, multipotent in the sense it can give rise to any type of cells, different types of cells. Which includes osteoblast. Osteoblast that forms the bone cells. Chondrocytes, they form cartilage cells. Myocytes, muscle cells. It can give rise to muscle cells. Adipocytes, it can give rise to fat cells. So these are mesenchymal cells derived from mesoderm. Coming to the first cell, fibroblast. In this diagram, we can see the nucleus of fibroblast, which is represented here, and also you can see a lot of fibers which are produced by this fibroblast. So it's a connective tissue. Fibroblasts are elongated cells with cytoplasmic processes. So it has got a lot of cell processes. It stains faintly and it has got a spherical or oval nucleus which is positioned at the center. Maybe you can see here, this one. Okay, I think we have some diagrams of fibroblast in the next slides. And there are no granules. And as I discussed before, that it synthesize and secrete collagen fibers or other type of fibers. So it secretes fibers and also the ground substance. So the fibers and the ground substance together called it as extracellular matrix. So the fibroblast is going to produce extracellular matrix in a connective tissue, and they are the most commonly seen cells. Some other type of cells in connective tissue, histiocytes. This is a histiocyte, which are elongated cells. They're well stained cytoplasm and irregular cytoplasmic processes also can be seen. Nucleus is deeply stained and rounded. So round nucleus can be seen. So this is a cell histiocyte. The next one, myofibroblast. So as the name suggests, myofibroblast. It has got some component from the muscle and some component from the fibroblast. So the basic property of muscles are contractile in function. So it has got some properties of muscles. So myofibroblast, it has got contractile function and also produces extracellular matrix. A myofibroblast is a cell that is between a fibroblast and a smooth muscle cell. So it has got a property of the smooth muscle which is contractile in function, and the property of fibroblast so that it can produce extracellular matrix. So this is a picture of myofibroblast. Coming to the next cell, mast cells. These are mast cells. They are large cells. They have coarse granules in the cytoplasm, and they are well stained metachromatically, and the nucleus is spherically placed. A spherical nucleus can be seen. It takes different types of stains, different types of colors. Adipose cells. Adipose cells, they are again a supporting cells or the cells which are seen in the connective tissue, which are responsible for storage of fat mainly. They are also called as adipocytes, and if you have a group of adipocytes, that is called as adipose tissue. These are the adipocytes. Here this adipocytes looks empty in color or empty in appearance. That's because when you do the histological procedure, there are a lot of procedures to do to make a slide, which are called as the histological preparation, where the adipocytes has fat. So this fat which is there in the cell gets dissolved during the process. That's the reason it looks empty. And this is the nucleus. Nucleus is pushed to the to a side because it has a fat, and that fat pushes the nucleus to a side. So altogether it looks like a signet ring. So this appearance, this is a signet ring. So it appears like as there is a signet ring. This is a nucleus and this is a cytoplasm which is supposed to have a lot of fat, and this is getting dissolved during histological preparation. The next cells, pigment cells. Pigment cells has a lot of branching process, and they have melanosome granules inside it. they are seen in some part of the skin, or it is seen in the skin. Now coming to the fibers of connective tissue. So you should remember here that connective tissue has got two components, cells and extracellular matrix. So we have seen the cells. Now coming to extracellular matrix, extracellular matrix has got fibers and ground substance. So first of all, we are going to see fibers. So there are different types of fibers in connective tissue. It can be of two types. Broadly can be divided into two types: collagen fiber and elastic fibers. Elastin fibers and collagen fibers. And there is one more fiber which was earlier supposed to be or thought as a separate fiber, which is called as reticulin fiber. But now we know it is actually a collagen fiber. It's a type of collagen fiber, reticulin fiber. So the main classification is collagen fiber and elastic fibers. Reticular fibers are a part of collagen fiber or a type of collagen fiber. Now there are different types of collagen fibers, but we are not going to describe everything. Let's describe very shortly type 1 collagen fibers. So type 1 collagen fiber, so there are type 1, type 2, type 3, like that. You have a lot of collagen fibers. Now we are going to consider type 1 collagen fiber. It is found in fibrous connective tissue or fibrous supporting tissue, also seen in derms of the skin, tendons, ligaments and bones. And it can it is variable arrangement from loose to dense according to mechanical support. So according to the mechanical support is required, it can be loose sometimes or it can be dense. For example, in the bonds, they are very dense. So it differs, the arrangement differs. But the fibers that you can see in these areas are type 1 collagen fiber. So these are type 1 collagen fiber. The collagen fibers are wavy in appearance and also they are in bundle and shows branching pattern. So one collagen fiber can branch with other than another collagen fiber. So branching property is seen in this. The next fiber that you can see here is elastin. So elastin is a structural protein which are arranged as fibers, which can be a continuous sheet. So it looks like a sheet. It can be a continuous sheet or a discontinuous sheet. And it is seen in skin, lung, blood vessels, where it has the property of stretching and elastic recoil. So wherever a tissue needs a stretching and elastic recoil, like ascending aorta. Ascending aorta is a great vessel which is arising from the heart. So ascending aorta will continue as arch of aorta and so on. Anyway, the ascending aorta which has a property of elastic recoil. So there you have a lot of elastic fibers. So whenever elastic recoil is required, like lungs can recoil. So these areas you have a lot of elastic fibers. You can see a lot of elastic fibers here. The next one is reticulin fibers. I said before that reticulin fibers was considered as a separate entity, but now we know it is a collagen fiber, which is collagen fiber type 3. So collagen type 3 are called reticular fibers or reticulin fibers. These reticulin fibers are not usually seen very clearly in routine histological procedure. Routine histological procedure means the tissue is usually stained with hematoxylin and eosin. Hematoxylin and eosin. These are two different dyes. Hematoxylin will give a bluish appearance in the histological preparation, and eosin will give a pinkish appearance. Hematoxylin is a positive dye, eosin is a negative dye. So that means hematoxylin is a positive dye. That means it can stain negative particles in a cell. So what is negative particle in a cell? Nucleus. So hematoxylin can stain the nucleus, whereas eosin, which is supposed to be a negative stain, so that can stain positive structures, positive charged particles in a cell. So what is positive charged particle in a cell? That is cytoplasm cell membrane. So this is the difference between these two stains, hematoxylin and eosin stain. Hematoxylin will take the or hematoxin will stain the nucleus, which appears bluish in color, and eosin that stains a positive charged particles in a cell, that is cytoplasm and cell membrane. So that's the reason here you see that here it is not very evident, but you can make out that the cell membrane and the cytoplasm is eosinophilic in color or pinkish in color, whereas the nucleus is supposed to be, nucleus is there here in some areas, nucleus is supposed to be bluish in color. That's because hematoxylin takes the stain. Anyway, that's a different topic. Now, why did I say that here? Because the reticulin fibers usually will not take the stain, hematoxylin and eosin stain. For to see the reticulin fibers clearly, you need to have a special staining, and that special staining is called metallic silver staining. So this is a picture where you can see this tissue is stained by the metallic silver, and the collagen fibers are seen very clearly. Here also you can see the collagen fibers. I'm sorry, it is not collagen, it's reticulin fibers, right? Yeah, reticulin fibers. It is seen black here, the blackish color area are the reticulin fibers. Here also you can see, but here it is very clear, and the nucleus here appears red. So reticulin fibers are a type of collagen fiber, which is collagen type 3. Now, here I didn't talk about collagen fiber type 2. So there are collagen fiber type 2 that also is important. That is seen in hyaline cartilage. Okay, there are different areas, but here just remember at least one thing. In the hyaline cartilage, you will see type 2 collagen fiber. Now coming to the next substance, that is ground substance, a part of connective tissue. So we will see once again the connective tissue component or connective tissue has the resident cells and the extracellular matrix. So we saw the cells and we have seen the fibers. Now the remaining is ground substance. Now ground substance derived its name being an amorphous transparent material which looks like a gel, semi-fluid gel, and consists of a lot of chemicals. And the main chemical that you can see here is glycosaminoglycans, which is called as GAGs. So these areas where you will see this amorphous material, that semi-fluid material, that is ground substance. Now let's see the classification of connective tissue is broadly classified into three: embryonic connective tissue proper, specialized connective tissue, where we have discussed or we are going to discuss cartilage, bone, and blood. So the specialized connective tissue will be a separate class where you can see all these things in detail. Now let's see the other divisions. So this is a broad classification: three: embryonic connective tissue proper, specialized connective tissue. Now if you have a sub classification on this, it looks like this: embryonic connective tissue proper, and specialized connective tissue. In the embryonic connective tissue, we have mesenchymal connective tissue, mucous connective tissue. So the classification looks a little tough, but you need to know roughly what are the divisions, what are the types of connective tissue. And connective tissue proper has loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue. In the dense connective tissue, again, there is a classification. Anyway, the third classification here is under the connective tissue proper is reticular tissue, then the adipose tissue. Now coming to dense connective tissue, we have dense irregular connective tissue, dense regular connective tissue. In dense regular connective tissue, there are two types: collagenous dense connective tissue, regular connective tissue, elastic dense regular connective tissue. Coming to specialized one, this we will discuss later. Three are the cartilage, bone, blood. So try to remember the connective tissue classification. I know it is a little tough, but still. So let's see the connective tissue in detail one by one. The first one is the mesenchymal connective tissue. Mesenchymal connective tissue, it is seen in the embryo and it looks like a gel. We have got a gel or amorphous ground substance, and on which there are a lot of reticular fibers. So that is a consistency of, or that is a component of mesenchymal connective tissue. Remember, it is seen in embryo, as the name suggests. So it is the mesenchymal connective tissue. The second classification under embryonic connective tissue is mucous tissue. Mucous tissue is a loose amorphous connective tissue, and it also looks like a jelly like matrix. It is seen in umbilical cord. This is umbilical cord, which is connecting the fetus to the mother, and this is called as Wharton's jelly. So it is seen in umbilical cord, and that connective tissue here it is called as Wharton's jelly. So this is the histological picture of umbilical cord, and here is the Wharton's jelly, and it is found in umbilical cord and subdermal connective tissue of embryo. So just below the skin also you have this type of connective tissue. Now coming to the second classification, the broad classification, that is connective tissue proper. The first one in that is loose areolar connective tissue. As the name suggests, these connective tissue will have loose arrangement of fibers and dispersed cells in between. So it looks like this. There are different types of fibers in this, different types of cells are seen, and there are a lot of spaces, and the fibers are arranged very loose. There are different types of fibers can be seen in this. It's mainly seen in skin, internal body cavity, the mesothelial lining of internal body cavity, and adventitia of blood vessels. So this is adventitia of blood vessel. A blood vessel will have three layers: tunica intima, tunica media, and tunica adventitia. So this layer has got loose areolar connective tissue. It is also seen in glands. There are different types of glands in the body, like salivary gland and other glands. So there you have again glands has got a part called parenchyma. So there also you have connective tissue, loose connective tissue. So the next classification is connective tissue proper. In that you have dense connective tissue. So here, as the name suggests, the fibers are arranged densely, and in that you have another classification, that is dense irregular connective tissue. Here the fibers are arranged densely, but the arrangement of the fibers are not regular. As you can see here, the fibers are not regularly arranged. So it contains a lot of collagen fibers, and it is arranged in a meshwork. The reason how it is formed is because of this connective tissue might have got a lot of stress from different directions. So that is the reason the fibers are arranged in different directions. It is seen in some parts like dermis of the skin, nerves, sheets of nerves, spleen, testis, ovary, kidney, and lymph nodes. So some of the lymph nodes are also having this dense irregular connective tissue. Coming to next one, that is dense regular connective tissue. In that first one is dense regular collagenous connective tissue. Here the fibers are collagen fibers, and they are arranged in a regular way. So they are arranged very regular way. As you can see here, the fibers are arranged in a regular way, and this is seen in tendons, ligaments, and so on. Coming to the classification again, so this classification you should remember. And the next classification here is dense regular elastic connective tissue. Here the fibers are arranged densely and regular, and the fibers are elastic type. But here also you may see some of collagen fibers as well, but mainly you will have elastic fibers. They are seen in blood vessels, ligament of flava of vertebral column, suspensory ligament of penis. So this is how it looks like, the elastic fibers. The collagen fibers are also present in between, but majorly you'll have elastic fibers. The third variety in connective tissue proper is reticular tissue. As I said before, reticular tissue is hard to see in the HND staining. You may have to use metallic silver. As you can see here, it's a metallic silver stained picture. So it is arranged in a network. You can just think of a fish net, how a fish net looks, something like that. It's arranged. It is seen in exocrine glands, lymph nodes, spleen, thymus. So lymphatic organs. So the lymphatic organs in the body they have majorly this reticular tissue. So there are different types of lymphatic organs in the body, like tonsils, lymph node, thymus, spleen. All of them will have this reticular tissue. So that's it.